Hello everybody, and thank you for listening to the Before and After the Movies podcast. Before we get started with this week's episode, I just want to remind people of our new website, beforeandafterthemovies.com. Here you'll find a list of all of our episodes, even the famed Scoob episode. Also, you'll find a link to donate to the show. So if you've had fun listening along to us and are excited for more episodes in the future, these contributions go a long way in helping improve the show and allowing us to record more episodes. Once again, that's www.beforeandafterthemovies.com. And of course, a big shout out to all the listeners who've already shared their love and support with us. That's why we love doing this podcast, and we're excited to record many, many more. Okay, let's get set for this latest episode now.
Sorry, I gotta tell you, I didn't actually get time to do any prep for this one.
Wait, dude, actually?
I got you! I got you! I heard that, Pete. Leave that in there.
We'll leave it in there, yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as alluded to in our previous episode, Uncharted, we are here, the big one.
Let's go.
It is Matt Reeves, the Batman.
Episode 32.
And this is actually the 32nd iteration of Batman on the big screen. No, I made that up. I
mean, you're probably not far off.
That's true.
If you're counting like animated films and stuff, the Kevin Conroy saga. You got the Arkham series, you got AW.
All those fucking like graphic novels that have been like converted to.
You said on the big screen, so.
Oh yeah, true. Okay, directed by
Matt Reeves.
Who
has he directed anything since?
Honestly,
War?
I meant to look that up. So he's done.
Yeah, keep going. Tell me what he's done.
War of the Planet of the Apes. What was the one before that?
Dawn.
What was the first one?
Rise.
Okay, so Dawn and War of the Planet of the Apes, and everyone obviously like massive acclaim and.
But he didn't do the first one.
He didn't do the first one. No. Massive acclaim and pedigree for Dawn.
Oh yeah.
War was still like critically really well received.
It was a media darling for some reason,
but we both didn't really like it that much.
No,
kind of weird, but like the way it was shot was still beautiful.
Yeah, and it had the right tone.
Humanizing, exactly. Yeah, the humanizing elements of the apes was really well done.
Yeah, like I still can't quite figure out what was so bad about that movie. I think the number one thing was the relationship between Caesar and Koba and Jason Clarke's character was so well fleshed out.
Oh, I fucking forgot Jason Clarke was in it.
He's really good in that movie. And then when they did the trailer, it was like, oh, Woody Harrelson, because each movie he has a relationship with a human. Mm-hmm. It's like James Franco in the first one, Jason Clarke in the second one. It was like, oh, Woody Harrelson is perfect, his like arch nemesis, and they just never really fleshed that out. Yeah, that was the problem. So just to go off Matt Reeves' filmography really quickly.
He does have writing credits in this movie as well.
Yeah. So yeah, he hasn't directed anything since War. He's got a few other like producer stuff. Produced Cloverfield Lane, and obviously directed Cloverfield, 2008's Cloverfield.
Ghost directed?
No, he directed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought JJ was all over that.
No, JJ produced it.
I thought okay.
And then also Let Me In, which I've never seen, but I've heard really good things about that.
Cody Schmidt McPhee.
It's like the remake of it's like Danish film or something, or Swedish.
Yeah. The vampires.
Same thing.
Something to do with vampires.
Just kidding. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, he's a great choice for this. I think he's been attached to this project for a long time.
Well, initially we'll get into that later.
Yeah, well, he was directing even when Ben Affleck was directing.
But I thought Ben Affleck was writing and directing, and then he stepped down.
Well, then he said, I'm just going to star, and that's when they brought Matt Reeves in.
Okay.
And he's like, Matt's got a great vision for this. But
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, and then he stayed on it after he left, which doesn't happen very often. Usually when a thing falls apart, they start from scratch.
Clean slate it. So it's interesting. Like, part of me feels like this movie's...
I'm so excited for this movie.
Maybe that's my first part here. You're right. I'm not that excited for it.
Yeah, I got to get you up.
I don't know. Like, I even had to dabble. I played some Arkham the past couple nights.
That wouldn't get you in it?
I know.
Those games are so good. Are you feeling a bit of superhero fatigue? Is that what this is?
No, I think I was reflecting on it today at work, and it's like I haven't seen much marketing for it. And
except the Little Caesars campaign. I don't know if you've even seen that. The bat pizzas.
No.
They're literally doing bat emblem pizzas right now.
That's
hilarious.
Awesome. I'm not even doing like my like hardcore spoiler avoidance because I don't know.
Is there a part of you that maybe, because I know like you're personally so attached to that Nolan trilogy, like are you not maybe subconsciously you're not willing to move on?
I mean, that's You raise a really good point there, Anthony, because as fans of the show will know that Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight and one might argue Batman Begins are like two of my favorite movies. So to kind of set my bias aside, because Batman is a character that is allowed to have multiple iterations on screen. We've seen it time
I welcome
and time again.
multiple iterations
and
of Batman.
so do I, but for some reason maybe I have a mental block and saying, okay, it's going to be good, but there's no way it can be as good as that because it's the best movie ever made. So
I think I came on board as soon as I saw the casting. Like before then, I was kind of in the same thing of like, let's maybe just wait a little bit. I'm not sure we really need it. But the Robert Pattinson casting just intrigued me so much. Go
ahead.
We've never seen that more like thin-framed, gaunty Bruce Wayne before. And it's like, you see it I used to watch Batman of the Future a lot.
Is that similar to Batman
Fox
Beyond?
Kids? Yeah, I think Batman Beyond was a movie. I think in the UK it was called Batman of the Future.
Okay, so Batman Beyond was because Bruce Wayne is like guy in the chair, and
and
I think it's like Robin run around.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I used to love that like art style. It looks like this is kind of drawing a bit more from like the noir Batman.
Pointy noir. That's the word.
Everything is pointy in this movie.
Yeah. Just more on the casting here. So you mentioned Art Pats.
Yeah.
We got Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon. Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle.
Yep.
Colin
Is
Farrell.
it Selena Kyle? I know it's Catwoman.
It's
okay.
Kyle, yeah. Colin Farrell as
the Penguin. Cotsworth.
Oswald Cobblepot.
Yeah, I said Cotsworth.
John Turturro as Carmine Falcone.
Didn't know that.
And then I was like going through the cast, but trying not to read characters. So Andy Serkis.
You missed Paul Dano.
I was saving him for the last. Yeah. So Paul motherfucking Dano. Best actor.
The ultimate
of our
fan
generation.
casting for the Riddler.
Andy Serkis, Peter Skarsgård, and Barry Coogan, who we've seen a couple times in before and after the movies. He's in The Green Knight and he's in Eternals.
Okay.
Kind of plays that like preppy.
Oh, the Irish guy.
Yeah.
Kind
of looks like an evil boy, really.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. He looks like Tom Riddle in a flashback.
100%.
Okay, so I got some trivia questions here that I wanted to just
hit
you with. They're fairly easy, but let's just get everyone up to speed. Who directed the first two Batman films?
Ever?
No, the 80s ones, like that started our modern lineage.
Is it Tim Burton?
It is Tim Burton.
Okay.
But I'm happy you didn't just say, oh, Tim Burton.
Yeah, okay.
Who directed the second two?
Michael...
Not the Formula One race car
something
driver.
Schumacher.
Joel Schumacher. Who played the two... who were the two primary antagonists in Batman Forever?
Fucking... Is it the Riddler and Two-Face?
Yeah, and who played him?
Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey, baby.
That's right. And who played Robin in those films?
Chris O'Donnell.
What the fuck is wrong with you? I thought no one knows what he's done aside from those movies. Yeah, he's such a household name for some reason.
Flying Graysons.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another fun trivia. I'm not really asking you this. This is just I'm telling you something cool. Unless you know. You want to take a stab at it, go for it. There were supposedly 4 actors on Matt Reeves' final shortlist for Batman when he was casting. Obviously, one of them was Robert Pattinson. First of all, which film did Matt Reeves see that said sold him on Robert Pattinson?
The Safdie film.
Yeah, it's so
What's
good.
it called?
Good Time.
Good Time.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
It's like the most incredible performance. Like, it's so good.
Okay, so Robert Pattinson was John Safdie's muse in Good Time.
Yeah, Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems.
And okay, yeah. So those 3 actors, I think they all would have probably been done.
For some reason, I'm thinking Taron Egerton.
No,
I have no clue.
we got Armie Hammer, who was obviously long rumored.
Like I could see it.
Yeah,
he's a bit rigid, but I could see it
for sure. And then another actor, which apparently Warner Brothers was skeptical of because he's appeared in the X-Men films. There's a clue for you. They wanted someone who hasn't been in
Taylor Sheridan or
no.
James McAvoy?
No.
Give me the character of the X-Men.
No, it's too easy. He's English, the actor. He used to be a child actor. It's the last clue you're getting.
Oh, the guy who plays Iceman?
No. I'm Bobby.
Bobby.
Rogue, I don't care that I can't touch you.
Is that Tom Holland? I'm thinking like X1, X2 or Days of Future Past.
You're thinking the who directed those?
Bryan Singer?
No, the newer generation.
Matthew
Vaughn.
Vaughn.
He's in the Matthew Vaughn First Class, Days of Future Past.
Oh, the guy who plays Alex Summers.
Incorrect.
Who is it?
Nicholas Hoult.
Oh, that'd be a weird Batman.
But he's got the pointy look. He's so pointy.
He's so pointy. That'd be a weird Batman.
Jack the Giant Slayer fame.
Oh my gosh.
And then the last one was just too generic, so I'm just going to tell you. Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah.
Would have been totally fine. Would have not done anything that special.
I feel like Robert Pattinson is getting butts in seats, though.
Yeah, people are they're morbidly curious about
100%.
how the Twilight guy is Batman. It's such a good conversation starter. I'll give it to Warner Brothers. They're not afraid to go with like a bold casting. It kind of reminds you of like the Heath Ledger casting. It's like, oh, the guy from,
was it Brokeback Mountain?
Yeah, Brokeback Mountain, Knight's Tale. Like, how's he the Joker? Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. I'm kind of glad we've ended up with Arpats, and I'm not worried about him in this movie. I think if it's going to be bad, it's gonna. Well, yeah, I guess we'll hop on to predictions after this. I got one more trivia question for you.
Okay, I got some fast questions for you.
Which actor entered very highly publicized negotiations and supposedly ended up turning down the role of the Riddler before Paul Dano?
Was it Jonah Hill?
It was Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
That would have been also pretty fucking good, I think.
I think so as well, yeah. Okay, just quickly here, fast questions for you. I don't know the answer to this one. You might. Franchise setup, are we seeing a trilogy here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Big trilogy.
Is there going to be a Flash cameo?
No.
Okay, and maybe you can take this as a long answer to a fast question. Is this in the Joker universe, Todd Phillips universe?
No.
No.
I want it to be, but I don't think. I'd be very, very surprised.
The timeline is a bit iffy because you do see Batman's parents die in the Joker.
Yeah, and just like the world feels a bit too different.
It feels kind of same-ish though.
Yeah, like I think, well, that ties into one of my questions I've got for you.
What world are we getting?
Yeah, how fantastical, what are the fantastical,
I have no idea.
like can Killer Croc be in this world is basically is what I'm asking.
Yeah, so like.
Can Mr. Freeze exist, or are we in more of that Nolan, like organized crime world?
That's exactly what I have written down. Like I have no idea. Like Nolan, I just want to say, was like the first to bring in this like, what if superheroes existed in the real world? And he kind of
now we can't get out of it.
Exactly, yeah. He kind of coined the whole gritty reboot, and now like I feel I'm getting like graphic novel, Arkham City, Arkham Knight.
Yeah, that's
vibes from this.
I think we can get fantastical.
But is the audience going to accept that? Is the general public ready for a sort of fantastical, pointy Gotham, noir Gotham?
I don't know if they are, but they're gonna have to get on board
where
with
like
it pretty quick.
supervillains just run amok and stuff.
Yeah, so I think it's clear that we're going. DC are in such a little sticky predicament because they're finally hitting some W's with some of their recent films, and they're going to want to align this Batman with like Momoa's Aquaman, and Wonder Woman, and
but those are all trying to do the real world thing, right?
No, those aren't trying to do the real world thing. They started and now they just abandoned it completely.
That's
Have you
true.
seen Wonder Woman 1984? Yeah. Okay. So I got some fast questions for you as well.
Okay.
Will there be a post-credit sequence?
No.
Yeah, it's a bit too classy. Not very classy.
It feels like a classy film. Right?
Yeah. Will Batman kill someone? Or are they just not going to touch that for a while?
No, I think it's going to do the whole like beat the absolute shit out of someone. But they
Get a little telling off from Andy Serkis. What are you doing?
Bruce.
I didn't train you for that.
Master Bruce.
You want to fight someone? Fight me.
Nice.
Will we see Arkham in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I think we will. I think
Maybe a little newspaper opening.
No, I think he might visit Arkham. You'll see
visit?
like Joker's cell or something like that.
Ooh, original.
Fuck you. That's what I love about Batman, though. There's so many iconic
Yeah, I know.
villains.
And like, I don't think Batman's supposed to be super like vet in that. I think he's probably been around for like a year, so I don't think we'll have too many villains in Arkham.
So we're not an origin story.
No, I think we might get like little flashbacks when he's like.
Are we going to see his
stitching up
parents
wounds.
die again?
No, I hope not. I really hope not. Will the Riddler and/or Penguin be killed or die of some sort? Or are we just putting him in Arkham at the end? Put him in Arkham.
I think we might just put him in Arkham.
Nice.
I think if Warner Brothers is smart, they'll want to keep all their villains around and maybe get a villain type Suicide Squad movie.
HBO Max original series.
There you go.
Arkham. Any Joker references?
Yeah. I'm gonna be like that fucking clown in Arkham.
Joker cameo. A Joker cameo?
I don't think they can get a Joker cameo.
No Joaquin. Bruce, I haven't seen you. I've missed you so much.
Maybe we'll get a what's his fucking name? Suicide Squad.
Oh, John Cena?
No.
Peacemaker?
No, older Suicide Squad. Jared Leto, Joker cameo.
Oh, fuck. That'd be...
I don't think we'll get Inner Joker.
Inner Joker.
Don't think we'll get any Joker cameo.
Right.
Maybe.
But we do see those goons in the first trailer with the clown-ish makeup. It's not super clowny, but they've got like the black makeup or black lipstick smiles.
So maybe maybe it's revealed like the Riddler's working for the Joker or something like that.
Okay. All right. Do you want to hit me with your opening scene?
Yeah, sure. I'm kind of like, because Batman movies always seem to start with like parents' death or like something very dramatic, and I'm gonna switch.
Don't
it up
you dare
here.
start this with the Wayne's death.
No, I'm gonna switch it up here. I think we're gonna get thrown right into it.
Right,
Batman jumping off some buildings, doing his fucking grapple thing, chasing some penguin goons. Then he jumps off a building into the Batmobile, fucking rips around, apprehends the penguin, and then
no action sequence for another hour and a half.
Yeah, exactly. But it's revealed like the penguin's part of something bigger.
Right.
Yeah.
I like it. I really
you.
like it. I got one for you here.
Okay.
We open on the GPD like department.
Okay.
Like very David Fincher, very like rainy, very quiet. Push in on like a hallway, then the office of like a regular detective working, and he's working on like a scarecrow case or like a minor villain, Calendar Man or something like that.
Okay, yeah. Solomon Grundy.
Yeah, exactly. Jim Gordon like comes in and tells him to just like leave that behind, or like you got to come with me. See him driving through like really crime riddled Gotham streets, people like banging on the windows or whatever. And then we go to a crime scene of like a dismembered body with like all its limbs like pointing in different directions at like
kind of like I'm getting like Seven vibes.
Yeah, exactly. Very Seven.
Yeah.
And it's just like a Riddler, like it's a riddle. It's the Riddler's first riddle.
Okay.
And then they're just like looking at it and they're just like, Chris kind of with dismembered limbs pointing in all different directions. I'm thinking maybe like based on what I've seen from like the first trailer and like a couple of voiceovers, I think like the Wayne family is like part of the Riddler's like clues. So I think there would be something Wayne related in this crime scene, and then maybe Batman's like standing, like watching from like afar, and that's our opening scene.
Nice, I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. Yeah, I hope this movie kind of lets the audience play along as trying to solve the Riddler's riddles.
I want it to be really smart and like
which is always tricky because it's a Batman film, so you want to appeal to mass audiences.
Yeah,
but I think
we just want to. I want by the end to be like, oh, like how did I not see that?
Yeah,
I can't wait to see how that, or like not even quite understand everything. Just something that kind of challenge the audience. And I think Matt Reeves will do that.
Yeah, I hope so. I think from the posters, it kind of seems I'm getting the vibe that Batman and Catwoman are working together.
Yeah, but is she?
She's always been kind of.
I think that's one of my predictions. Right? I think like she's working for the Riddler or the Penguin.
I see the Penguin
until like halfway through.
Yeah.
Never trust a cat, Bruce.
Do you think we'll get like a hand-to-hand combat scene
with them on a building?
With them, so. Maybe. But what about like with the Riddler? Like he doesn't really fight the Riddler.
I mean, they've done a really good job of hiding his look.
I know.
Like we just seen him with
the trench coat thing.
Completely taped up. So like, you know, you can just imagine when he finally gets him, he's like, all like squirmy and weak,
prisoners.
Yeah, exactly.
They only cried when I left.
Bruce, you'll never figure it out.
I feel like there's got to be another villain. Like I don't know.
No, we don't need anyone.
No, we don't need. I don't get green.
It's a classic noir story with a serial killer.
Yeah,
and the world's greatest detective has to figure it out and weave through Penguin's crime mob.
Detecting. So do you think we're gonna get a lot of action in this?
I think
you know the runtime, right?
I think it's 3:03 or something like that.
I thought it was 2:55.
No, maybe because there's always two different ones with and without credits. So it's around. We'll call it 3 hours.
3 hour movie.
So we got to like. There's the great scene where he beats the shit out of that punk in the first vengeance. And I think we'll get like how. Like, do you think the stunts that Batman performs will be grounded in reality, or do you think he's like going like Ben Affleck, where he's jumping a little too high for a human?
He's moving a little too quick.
Or the people move a little too far when he punches them. I think we'll go for that. I think he'll use a nice range of gadgets and like.
See, that's the thing though. Like, we're in this fantastical world.
I cannot
I'm with you
wait
on that,
to see
but
this. I can't wait.
Is he gonna have super strength? Is he gonna have some sort of super speed? Like, I want to say no, but the world will say yes, kind of thing.
Yeah.
the world that Matt Reeves has created. Again, we have no idea. Like,
yeah, well, because you're right. Both they've picked usually like this. The strategy would be one villain who's brains and one who's like brawn. Mm-hmm. But unless they're going for some weird universe penguin, he can like. There's no way either of them stand a physical chance against him.
Yeah.
So who is he fighting? Is it just goons?
Yeah, or is he like
Or
like,
maybe you're right.
like
Maybe there is a killer croc or something, a more physical villain.
The second Batman in a trilogy based on Nolan and based on
one example.
No, sorry, based on like Marvel films as well. The second movie is kind of the character fighting themselves and like an internal conflict. So I wonder if we'll see that in this Batman, kind of Arpat's questioning himself, questioning his methods and stuff like that.
Yeah. Or
is he just going to be all out like, I got to solve this crime?
Yeah. We obviously have like there's the car chase with Penguin.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. Like I'd like to imagine that in 3 hours, like they know there's a certain demand of action that you need to give. Mm-hmm. You kind of need like 25 to 30 minutes of action sequences.
I feel like we're gonna get like 20 minutes of Riddler screen time max. They'll be 15 minutes.
Yeah,
maybe.
I could see that.
And I'm down for that.
I'm fine with that. Yeah. Just, like I don't know what this movie's about. Like I don't know how it's 3 hours long. Like,
I know
it's gonna be quite the. I think Batman is gonna be really put through the ringer emotionally, and his resolve is really going to be tested. And I think the Riddler's going to, one of my predictions is like really make him question whether he's like fighting for the right thing. Because I think his riddles are going to uncover all this like horrible stuff about like his family and the police department. And like, so he's going to be like, well, why should I fight for this like broken system? Like, I'm not really helping.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Am I even a bad guy? Like, he's going to like really like make him question everything.
Shit, it sounds like a very like adult Batman. If as funny as that sounds, I know like our non-superhero fans, I don't even think they'd be balking at this movie or this episode here. They're kind of intrigued as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like I like they've gone for more of a mystery tone because like I was talking to one of my friends who's just completely superhero fatigued out. He's not interested in this, and I was just trying to sell him on like I agree if you just do like. You know, if Shang-Chi comes out, I can understand why he's not that interested in watching it because it is like formulaic at the end of the day. Yes, it's got a few things here and there that are different, but you can imagine the broad strokes of what the story will be.
Yes.
So like to do a good superhero movie now, you have to hybrid it. You have to blend it really well with another genre. It's almost like a superhero movie in disguise.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And it seems like Marvel tries to do that.
Yeah, and they've been successful. I think they were successful with Winter Soldier. Like that felt very like espionage-y.
Yeah. Okay.
Suicide Squad was just like a big comedy.
Yeah, like a 80s island.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like you can do it. You just gotta.
But this one seems like they're definitely going all out for like the serial killer, true crime.
Like it's a David Fincher film in a superhero universe.
Yeah.
Which sounds incredible.
It does, yeah. It's just a matter of if they can pull it off, given the IP that is Batman.
Yeah. Like, do you think we're getting like humor in this movie? I think there might be like.
I think we might get some Alfred Arpats Bants.
Yeah. Okay.
I can see that.
Very nice. What other predictions do I have here? Yeah, obviously Paul Dano is going to be really gross and squirmy and weak when he's finally unmasked. Don't hit me.
One last riddle, Bruce.
Your puny brain can't figure it out. He's gonna be behind like some glass or something.
Do you think he's gonna be in like a green question mark?
Can you imagine? They just go all in on that little top hat and everything.
And a cane.
Enigma. Do you think his name is Edward Nigma in this, or do you think they just never even say his name?
I bet you it's Edward Nigma.
Yeah, Enigma. It's so bad. All right.
If we do get a post credits, who are you setting up as your villain?
I would like to see some kind of hint towards like the Justice League, honestly. Like I'd go in that direction.
I didn't like that.
As opposed to just like setting up another villain.
Why not, dude?
Because we've been there and done that. Like let's just like wouldn't it be also just fucking crazy if like Superman was in the post credit sequence?
Like Henry Cavill?
Bruce.
What about Ben Affleck? Like you can't just unwrite
Bruce
all
2? I knew a Bruce once.
Oh my god. Oh, quickly, any Jason Todd or Robin, Nightwing?
Maybe that's your post credits.
Hey, my name's Jason.
Chris O'Donnell returns.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh my god. Christian Bale, like all the Batman come. You're part of a bigger universe, kid. Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, fucking Ben Affleck.
Christian Bale as like Bruce Wayne in a Batman Begins type deal. But there was no way they would keep that under wraps.
No, and there's just no way Christian Bale would ever do that. He's too busy playing Gore the God Butcher.
Yes, in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, that's coming.
Jeez, you just did a 180 on Marvel, eh? You get tantalized.
I'm in DC mode right now. I'm not in for babies movies. I want the fucking real shit.
Is this movie rated R?
No, it's PG-13.
Could you imagine?
I said like, Matt Reeves did the classic, like, we're pushing the boundaries of the PG-13
Of course
genre.
we are, Matt.
I don't even think you said that. I think I made it up. So Catwoman's working with the Riddler. I've got Bruce Wayne will have a private emotional meltdown. Like I want to, a scene where he's just so frustrated and he's like with Gordon and he's like kind of doing his Batman bravado and he kind of like retires and he's just like all, like shirtless in the mirror and he's like, "Grah!"
Yeah.
Like he can't figure it out. Maybe like a head on the mirror, Channing Tatum style.
And here's a question for you. These riddles, are they leading towards like the next murder victim, or are they like...
Yeah, I think the murder victim's probably going to be part of each clue.
So some gruesome Riddler deaths, maybe.
Do you think the Riddler knows who Batman is?
I think so.
Or is that because that's part of his character? Like he hates that he can't figure it out. I think that's like sometimes part of his thing.
And that's always like a lot of villains. They just want to unmask Batman.
Yeah. So if you just take that away, that would be a bit disappointing.
True. Okay.
But at the same time, maybe he like figures it out like halfway through or something.
Selena told me everything.
Yeah. Okay. So I think there'll be obviously. We've talked a lot about Robert Pattinson's Batman. We haven't talked a lot about Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne.
Okay. Yeah.
So
a young billionaire.
Yeah, young. I think they'll kind of play that up like a young, irresponsible playboy.
Okay, yeah, maybe they'll get some like social commentary in there as well.
Yeah, I've got it. I think
you billionaires think the world revolves around you or something like that.
Isn't that just Dark Knight Rises?
Come on, the rest of us.
I think we'll get a scene where the Penguin's in like a casino.
Okay.
And Bruce Wayne's like balling out. And Penguin like comes out to him. He's like, "Oh, you kids," or whatever, and like slaps him across the face and just kind of like humiliates him. And then obviously like Bruce Wayne wants to do something about it, but he can't because he has to like maintain the facade. And he's like, kiss my ring or something like that. And he has to like, just like humiliates Bruce Wayne publicly. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Okay.
You hate it.
So why would he kiss his ring?
Oh, because he's like, otherwise he's got like his like goons and shit. So he's like Bruce Wayne's like partying and like spills something on Penguin. How about that?
Okay, now I'm listening.
And he grabs him. Because Penguin's supposed to, he's quite
Daddy's
strong.
Not around. Daddy's money.
Exactly.
Or something like that. Yeah. I'll be billing your daddy's fun.
He's a nasty criminal. Like he's a nasty piece of work. The Penguin. Typically.
He's a money hound. Right. Yeah. He's always about like, well, at least in Arkham.
Maybe like hits him with his cane or something.
Yeah.
Smacks
or his hooked umbrella or something.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Do you think we'll get an umbrella gun?
Apologize to all these nice people. I don't think we get an umbrella gun.
Do we get real penguins?
No.
Real penguins are in Batman.
We are getting a series with Colin Farrell's.
Yes, you were mentioning that.
Confirmed on HBO Max.
Although we should say we don't know, it's unconfirmed whether it's prequel, post-squel, or whatever.
I think
we don't know the fate of the Penguin based on that.
Yeah, exactly. And then, I've got a good one here. I think Alfred is like hiding a dark secret about the Waynes from
Bruce,
I
like
that the Riddler brings to light.
Okay.
Why didn't you tell me, Alfred? Because
Master
you
Bruce,
weren't ready.
You have a brother. Arthur Fleck. Enter Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh my god. Arthur Fleck. No. I hope we don't get that.
I bet you. Oh, fuck. Is Joaquin in this movie?
Do you think Penguin killed Bruce Wayne's parents? Little retcon, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's possible.
Can we stop playing up the parents?
That's all I can think about.
Like, it could be like the Riddler reveals that he fucking murdered Bruce Wayne's parents and makes a riddle of it. But, like, it's going to land with, like, 30% of your audience. I'm going to be something like, oh, they fucking died again. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's such a horrible thing to say, but in the comic book universe, like, this has been played out to death.
It's like the getting bitten by the spider. We just don't need to see it.
Don't need it.
Okay, I want to round off with two big questions for you. and I've kind of touched on these a little bit, but how will this eventually tie into the rest of the DCEU, or will it just be maintained as its own separate franchise?
I'm going to go with separate franchise.
But obviously this Flash movie opens the door if they want
No,
to.
this Flash movie will be a one and done. It won't be done very well. There's going to be plot holes. They're just going to be bringing back 2 Batmans and kind of leave it at that.
So they're going to keep this as like the really classy semi-grounded, not super silly.
Yeah.
Let's do a nice trilogy of our Pats and then...
The only blending I can see is the Joker and this Batman. The timelines don't work out. Mm-hmm. But
well, I mean, this would have to be many years later.
20 years, I'm thinking, yeah. But that would be because DC's good. They have to have like a succinct timeline. They got to protect their storylines.
Yeah.
The Joker, I mean, obviously was critically acclaimed.
They're doing a Joker sequel, though. Like, I think that's all.
I thought Joaquin doesn't do sequels.
I think he's like...
He's dancing
Joaquin
around
actually called me recently. He had a cool idea.
Of course. So the only universe tie-in I can see is that one. But I don't know how they're going to make the timelines work.
Right. Okay. And how can this Batman resist the accusations of fatigue from the general audience and carve its place in superhero fandom?
Okay, that's a good question. I think we've touched on it quite a bit here, but the biggest thing is let's make this a crime detective, true crime serial killer type movie with a sprinkle of Batman.
Yeah, with some really nice action sequences.
Yes.
You're just like, wow,
but
I need to watch that again.
I'm not going in expecting like a Marvel type action movie. If it's light on the action, but the movie delivers, I'm okay with it. Mm-hmm. I think Dune is a great example. It was a little bit lighter on the action, but the world building, like you were still so invested.
Even like the Dark Knight's a good example. Like there's action in it, but it's
but at the end of the day, like the Dark Knight isn't. Okay.
Yeah. But when it happens, it really delivers, like the flipping truck or like Batman versus the Joker.
It feels very real. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I would just like to see some like really, I know I always say this, just like slick, well done choreography, like when it comes to it.
I think where we are in cinema, I think any movie that tries to do jump cuts and rotating stuff, like it's not working right now.
Yeah, have it be brutal as well. Like let's see some like punch teeth out and like some blood and a bit of gore,
some cracking noises.
Yeah. Oh, that was like very brutal to watch
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
So if we can get all that and tie it up in a nice clever thriller that has maybe a memorable twist that people are talking about, like down the line, I think we'd be in good shape.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other predictions, or are you done? You didn't really tell me much about what's gonna happen in this movie.
No, I mean, my biggest thing right now, and maybe if I can hear it from you, like what is the setting? What kind of Gotham are we in? Because right now, I think I'm gonna lock it in, saying that we're kind of Arkham video games type thing.
Yeah, I mean that's the best guess we can take away from what we've seen. Mm-hmm. Some of the like art direction and the costume design doesn't look like it would be in our world. Mm-hmm. It is a bit gothic and a bit noir. Mm-hmm. So maybe this is like they're starting with these 2 villains because they're both a bit more real, and they're going to slowly open up the world to them more.
Okay, because that was kind of like Tim Burton's Batman.
Yeah, because I'd like to see. I think I really respected what Nolan did with Bane, even though like it didn't quite work out in a lot of ways, but he took a villain that a lot of people, when it was announced that it was Bane, a lot of people were like, oh, the fuck? Mm-hmm. Like let's have this world focus on like doing Mr. Freeze, for example. Like how can you succeed with that character? So like there's a bunch of them they haven't done yet, and let's try and see that.
Bat.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like, who else is there? I'm trying to go through those games. Deathstroke
could be good.
Yeah, Deathstroke could be really cool.
Poison Ivy.
The Arkham Knight. You never know.
Yeah, I feel like you'd want to get some setup for Arkham Knight, though.
Yeah.
I feel like you introduce Jason Todd in this movie as like Taron Egerton, and then in the third movie, you kill him off.
Movie,
yeah, exactly. He comes back. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Harley Quinn. Maybe we'll see her again.
Margot Robbie.
Yeah. Somehow.
Fuck, dude. Like, you know what? Like, we have to get... I think we're going to get a big cameo of someone that already exists in the universe.
Arthur Fleck is the only one that really makes sense.
I agree, with the tone that I'm seeing here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's see what we get. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it's decent. We're going to be tired. It's going to be a late
it's going to be a late post show, so bear with us.
The lucky audience, you just get to sit there and wait 3 seconds. Like,
why didn't they do a podcast on this movie?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. See you soon. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Look at them upside down.
Anthony, you son of a bitch. Oh,
I just thought I'd leave you hanging there.
That was Jeffrey Wright's Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the Riddler's notes. No, it's like it's not quite gruff. It's
very raspy.
yeah, but it's also distinguished and like sophisticated.
We got you now, you son of a bitch.
That was good. Ozzy.
Okay, nice. Okay,
Murder of the third degree.
What does it all mean?
That was just Batman.
That's true.
That was Christian Bale's Batman. Vengeance.
Okay,
All
we're
right.
back from the Batman here.
We are. It's late.
It's late, so bear with us here as we
But
navigate our way through this riddle of a film.
haha.
Okay, out of 10s, here we go. I'm curious to see what you got to say.
All right. 3, 2, 1, 9.
8.5.
I was going with 8.5.
I was actually going with 8.
Oh, I've gone for a 9.
Maybe I think you can convince me.
Let me try. Actual knuckle cracking there.
How do we approach this? Like, I just have so many thoughts I need to say.
You're just hitting your mic here.
I'm excited, right?
I mean, I'll start with, I just sat down and the movie is almost 3 hours and it flew by. I was never bored for a second. I loved it. I thought it was so well done. And I could be on that little high, like it might simmer down.
I'm wary of that high.
Yeah. I've gone pretty good over the years at not falling for the high. Ever since I gave X-Men Origins Wolverine an 8.
I mean, we got absolutely slaughtered for our Eternals review.
Yeah. Let the haters hate, man.
Yeah, exactly. A couple fringe types.
They hate us because they ain't us.
We can get into good stuff. We can get into gripes.
They were right, though, about Eternals.
Do you want to try and tackle this, like, start to finish?
Sure. I guess I just wrote down everything I could think of in
All right,
order.
let's just go point for point then.
Yeah. Hit me with a point.
Okay. Colin Farrell as the Penguin was my highlight.
Yeah, you loved him.
He was so good.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
I don't think I would know that was Colin Farrell if I didn't know.
You catch just glimpses.
Yeah. The
But,
makeup was just
It
out
was
of this
so
world.
good.
I got you.
And okay, well, fuck, to mention that car chase.
Yeah. Wow.
One of, if not the best car chase I've seen
Ever put to film
in cinema history.
Yeah. It was so heavy hitting. The sound design was mixed to perfection.
Yeah.
The fire, the flames, the rain,
the camera angles,
the tipping,
like getting Colin Farrell, and you can see the Batmobile in the background. Like, it was so fucking
yeah, the trucks swaying around, all the crashing.
Oh my God.
How it just kept escalating, and then Penguin finally thinks he's done enough, and then he just comes flying above the thing.
Fuck.
And then the way he just like looked at him from underneath the car, and the way they put the camera upside down, like. Okay, let's talk about the score real quick.
Okay, yeah.
You're talking about one of the best superhero themes in a long time. I think this is up there with Danny Elfman's Spider-Man.
Okay, yeah.
Obviously, Hans Zimmer's Dark Knight. I think the Hans Zimmer one just tips this one.
Yeah. Avenger or Alan Silvestri's Avengers theme, maybe.
I like that theme. Yeah, that's good as well.
But no, this one, like, on the drive home, like, we have a no talking rule. We're just both humming it independently.
Even like when you were hitting your gas pedals, like. You almost got in 3 car chases on the way home.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so soundtrack absolutely brilliant.
Okay, you go again.
Okay, let's talk about Robert Pattinson.
Okay, sure.
I love how the movie kind of started in I'm taking a 0.25 for my opening scene because it was like a murder from the Riddler and the GPD were right there. And I just love how Batman was there right away as well.
Yeah.
He just slipped into the role like a glove, and they didn't waste any time like establishing who he was. He was just the Batman.
I wasn't jarred seeing R. Pats himself.
Yeah, no, his chin, like it sounds like so picky, but the chin and the jaw and the mouth and the speaking is all super important. And I got into it right away. And
I mean, like, to preface this, like, I was never against him as the Batman or Batman, but yeah.
But any fears you have, I would just say don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
He's
100%.
I think I was shocked by how much Batman there was in the movie. Like there's more Batman, than Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Which when he was like just Bruce Wayne, I was like, oh, like it was kind of jarring.
I kind of wanted more Bruce Wayne, right? Yeah. Not a diss, but like
and like the way we see him slowly transition out of, so you get Batman and then he's got the face makeup, and like he has to kind of like, you know, go through the stages to become Bruce Wayne again. I thought that we haven't really seen that before.
Yeah, so that's got a point here. It's interesting seeing this like young, very like eager Batman.
Yeah,
because I'm so used to Christian Bale being like, he's
got
right much fight left in him, so we see this like young.
And then we had Ben Affleck right after that.
Yeah, exactly. And like,
he looks young in this movie.
Yeah,
what is he? 32,
like, something like that. Yeah. But he's
Perfect.
just like, I love how he's just obsessed with being Batman. Like, he does not care about his personal life. He's like, this interests me, and I'm gonna put a full send into this. And he's a younger Batman. He's still learning the ropes, so he's got like. He's like pretty shitty at sleuthing. Like he just like knocks on doors and like tries to walk in.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't like sneak in.
He's not subtle.
Exactly. I had that scene where he's like kind of like hesitant at the heights.
Yeah, that was I loved that.
Couldn't glide very well. His boots were just like regular, like
exactly all mushy in the rain, not as waterproof as they should be.
He kind of fucked up that one riddle.
Yeah, he got hurt like quite a few times in the movie, and like like you say, the moment on the height, it was like genuine fear. He's like, I haven't done this before.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't have time to worry about it.
So he's not this like he's not this like invincible force that you
not
often see with Batman.
Yeah. And like they got his like his body battle wounds just look so good. Like yeah. So I thought he absolutely knocked it out of the park. There's just maybe like a few lines, like one scene that jumps to mind where like the only time his performance wobbled a bit for me was like when he had to deal with exposition. There's a scene where Alfred like wakes up in the hospital bed and he just confronts him right away. And
that was his big scene. That was Arfaz's big scene.
It was a little like monotone. He just like, you lied to me, like do this. Oh, okay. Like there's one moment, one little nitpick that I could have used maybe a bit more range from him.
You know, Christian Bale would have hit that range.
Yeah, exactly.
Alfred got this, man.
Yeah, I'd say Christian Bale's still probably the best Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
People are dying, Alfred.
it was a big dog, Alfred.
It's a big dog.
It was a big dog.
Oh my god, that's good. People are dying.
I got a note here. I'll see if you agree with me on this one. Okay. Somehow felt more real. So tone and setting were a little bit off on that. Somehow felt more real than Nolan, but also more comic book like. You know what I mean? Like it felt like it was grounded in our world. There was also elements of it.
Like with the technology and like the TVs.
Exactly.
All right, calm down. But I feel like the second Dark Knight is still probably the most grounded. This one felt more like Batman Begins level.
Okay, I just like that there was minimal, if any, tech MacGuffins, minus like the contact lens thing. But I
noticed that like the first half was much. Like he felt very human in the first half, and in the second half you start to see him like swinging a bit, like you're like, a human probably couldn't do that.
Yeah,
like, vault off a balcony and just swing around. But it was a really nice level of groundedness for me. What else have I got here? I think Jeffrey Wright absolutely killed it.
He was really good.
Yeah,
he was in it quite a bit,
a lot more than I was expecting.
He had like very unwavering loyalty towards Batman, which played really well on screen. Yeah,
and like him trying to bridge with the cops and even letting him like punch him in the face to escape, and felt like they were kind of like partners in a lot of scenes. It was like them storming into crime scenes together.
100%, yeah.
Which I didn't really expect from this movie. I thought he would just pop up in a couple scenes and
I really like how just going through this post show with you, we're really focusing on characters because this movie's done a great job of developing these characters.
Speaking of which, maybe let's jump into Zoe Kravitz real quick.
Yeah. So I have a note here. I felt like she held herself quite well. I think Zoe Kravitz. I forgot to mention this in the pre-show. I'm not the biggest Zoe Kravitz fan.
I don't think I've seen her in anything else. What would I have seen her in?
She was in the second Fantastic Beasts.
Oh, I don't really remember that movie.
And she was in X-Men First Class.
Really?
It kind of felt like she was
so young
shoehorned in there from her dad. So I was a little bit nervous to see her cast as Catwoman, but honestly, like I think she did a phenomenal job.
There's no issues with her whatsoever. She handled the action amazingly too.
Yeah, the issue I have might be the script kind of shoehorned her in a bit. I think I would have liked to see more of her, if anything.
Yeah, she came in like really early, and I liked how they kind of fooled me. I was like, oh, this is very early days, so she's like not this like master of espionage, or she's just who she says she is, and then you realize she's like much more capable than she let on. So I really liked that progression of her character, and I really felt like the one criticism I have with The Dark Knight Rises is I didn't really find much chemistry between
Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway and Christian Bale, whereas like these two, their romance felt a lot more organic.
Yeah, for sure.
It was like they're clinging to each other because like they're also both so traumatized, and like that was great.
Her like send off at the very end, very Nolan-esque.
Yeah,
very much like
then yeah, like looking at each other through the mirrors.
Exactly.
Really, I liked that a lot. All right, Mr. Dano.
Paul Dano, like he's an incredible actor.
He's so good, man.
And you're just waiting for that mask to come off. Like the voice acting alone was incredible.
Before we get to the mask coming up, I thought his like little tantrums and his occasional screaming and
then how he would like just to quickly jump forward when he does his video for his like fringe followers, how it's like very pandering to them.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Hey guys, thanks for liking, thanks for all the comments.
Yeah.
But then when he's doing it to like Gotham, he's like, you gotta listen to me. And
I just can't even replicate
it.
He's just like, you knew it was another one. Like as soon as he was announced, like you could see that moment where he's in like the interrogation room with his little glasses and his little raincoat.
Of course he's wearing his glasses.
Yeah.
He's contractually obligated to wear those glasses in every movie.
He was just absolutely outstanding.
You let out like a bit of almost like a cheer or a giggle when he's like getting arrested in the coffee shop when he's doing the thing with his mouth.
Yeah, exactly. So when he had his head pushed down.
Bruce Wayne.
Okay, so there's a big question I have for you.
Yeah. No! Stop. No! You gotta see this movie if you want to get that joke.
When he obviously figured out that Bruce Wayne was Batman.
Yes.
So, and then you can see the fears building in Batman when all the GPD are in the lair and all the newspapers are saying, who's the Batman? I know the real you. So he's kind of getting freaked out. I thought Batman, and then that video started. I thought he was going to like steal it or something.
Yeah.
But then he seems to be okay with the fact. He's like, people are going to find out.
Yeah. He's like, I'm the final piece.
And then he goes to see the Riddler and he's like openly saying, Bruce Wayne, Bruce Wayne. The camera's right there. And it never really gets brought up again.
True. Yeah, I don't know where that was going.
Catwoman doesn't seem to know at the end, and Gordon doesn't seem to know at the end either.
I think it was a lot of misdirection, thinking that the Riddler's whole thing was that he doesn't like that he can't solve this riddle of who Batman is. And that was the whole thing. Because Joker's whole thing was to reveal who Batman was.
Right. But then at the end, he almost said a line where he's like, "Oh wait, he actually doesn't know." Like there was like a little weird line.
Oh yeah, he did say that.
Yeah, he's like, but then I don't know. So I need to like kind of look something up and revisit that.
Yeah, so maybe he was just bluffing. I remember thinking that as well.
Yeah, I can't remember what the line was, but it was like a very odd line. He's like, and soon I'll know, or something like that. No. So yeah, like I think the common theme we're seeing here is the performances across the board were very, very top-notch performances.
I do have one performance that did not land for me in any way. Yeah, so John Turturro as Carmine Falcone, I thought he was just horribly miscast.
You thought he was horribly miscast, eh?
Couldn't just buy him as this, like...
He was very John Turturro.
Yeah, exactly. And John Turturro is a comedic actor.
Right. I didn't really have too much of an issue with him.
I thought it was just, like, kind of silly, and he was not intimidating, not
menacing.
Imposing. Exactly. You know, this guy's a bit of a joke.
I feel like that was kind of the thing, though. Like, he was kind of playing that role as, like... So people didn't like realize just how like in control he really was. But you're right. Like when he shows his true colors and he's like trying to kill Catwoman. Never really felt that threatening.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. 4 out of 10. Yeah. I was so happy with the pace of the movie. Like I know I kind of touched on that already. I really liked the pace.
I think that's where I'm dropping off a bit.
Every scene I was like, oh, let's see what happens here. Like, down for this.
So that kind of segues me into like Matt Reeves' direction. Like it stood out. It was incredible. Long scenes with mounted cameras that you just kind of live in the scene. Nothing felt rushed, but nothing felt rushed. For better or for worse. You know what I mean? I think some of the shots could have been...
You could have trimmed like 6 minutes off this movie.
I think so.
Yeah.
And the one that stood out to me was actually pretty good, but I think it's just a good example is when he's reaching into the bat cage to grab the letter. He's cautious of the bat, and he grabs it.
That's because he's scared of bats.
And he pulls it out, and he closes the thing. And is like a lot of that throughout the movie that you start to waver a bit when it comes to pacing, in my opinion.
I guess you have to be, it's not saying you're not, it's just
Here we go.
You have to be like a true Batman fan. And I don't know, I'm just saying that because you had a very, very tiny issue with it. I'm not saying I didn't, but someone who's like not really, someone who's just a casual Batman fan might just find that scene totally boring. Whereas like you and I like watching his glove or like looking at all the stitching on the mask or like how did they do this one thing.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
And like, yeah, that's good. It's a good example. Like there is some explanation for that, I feel, because of like the subtext of his fear of bats. Whereas like Nolan has to be like, I don't like bats, Alfred. Whereas with Matt Reeves,
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, with Matt Reeves, he's all about the visual.
Yeah, okay. You know what? And I'm glad we had this discussion because you have educated me and helped convince me.
I'm trying to think of another example.
Well, there's just lots of him like just like walking down the hallways.
Or like waking up from like being unconscious and just slow.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I loved the scene. Like and we were talking about like will there be some comedy? It's definitely light on the comedy, but when it does come around, like the bit.
I don't think there was any, man.
Well, the penguin when they leave him there, all tied
he waddles.
Up. Yeah. And he just said, yeah, like he was probably like your main go-to for humor because he's just like very crass and like says what's on his mind.
He was incredible.
You got a lot of cats. That was the other one.
Yeah. You got anything else?
Let's see. It's a movie that I feel like I'm really looking forward to watching again. Like it feels like it's very rewatchable for me. Like I won't see it again in theaters. I'll just wait till it's out. And I feel like it's one of those movies that I think you can go back to, even though like now you know like the answers. I think just watching all those like relationships play out and just watching those action scenes again. Like let's just give another shout out to how well choreographed the fights were.
It was really good.
Felt very hard hitting, very real. Great use of weapons, nice balance of gadgets. The gas was great. Obviously, the kind of reveal is Riddler has all these followers that he's been building.
Yeah,
and it's like a very like scary plot that he has. Like it's very violent. Like just having people getting sniped and like
it's pretty topical, I'd say.
Yeah, it feels like something that could happen.
Exactly.
Aside from like the flood part, but
but like rallying your followers to kind of carry like
going against like attacking democracy.
Exactly.
We've seen things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So that felt real. It wasn't like a stupid like, oh, I'm gonna like poison gas across the whole city.
Okay,
it wasn't Lizard.
Yeah, for sure. And that was kind of like maybe we can talk about the plot a little bit in the script.
The script was pretty airtight, I would say.
Yeah, it was good. I guess I had a couple issues. Like, I think I mentioned this to you just before we started recording. Was like how Batman figures out his initial.
He doesn't struggle with any of the riddles. Hey, he got every single one
except for URL.
Yeah, he struggled with that one a little bit. URL.
URL. That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. That's one that I didn't get that much.
How the rat or the rat with wings kind of had 3 iterations. It was like first it was a penguin, and then it was the Batman, and then it was Falcon. You like that?
I do. I do. The one thing I was mentioning to you just before we started recording was like I feel like when Batman kind of pulls up the carpet and reveals Riddler's final plan, like I feel like he would have ended up there anyways, kind of thing to help save people. But then you said maybe a bit later. So there was a bit of convenient writing with timing of Riddler's riddles, and
how he was living right above and like bring him into the light, just looking at like the one lamppost. That was a bit confusing. I was like, it just meant like the light of the police, and he was just assuming that he'd spot him at that point. Like, did he get caught on purpose? Like, there's a few things we need to kind of look back. One other slight gripe I just thought of as far as the plot goes is like the reveal of kind of like Thomas Wayne's like conundrum and like his motivation was like a little bit Fantastic Beasts, where it was just like a lot of talking about things that happened but like not seeing it. It was like, Falcone and Marone. Is it Maroni? Like
Salvador Maroni.
Is Maroni in the movie?
No, I got confused because who was the biggest drug bust in Gotham history? Was it Falcone or
I think it was Maroni.
Or it was Maroni. Okay, and then that made Falcone.
So like that part was a little bit like
I didn't understand. I'll be frank right now. The renewal fund and how that became up for grabs when Thomas Wayne died.
Yeah, it was just like a big donation he had promised to like help the orphanage.
It was a yearly $1 billion donation or something.
Was it
like
yearly?
that?
I didn't hear the yearly thing.
I thought it was yearly.
But then that money had already been like committed, so when he was dead, everyone just kind of seized control of it. And redistributed it. And
even you just saying that, like, I don't really understand it.
Yeah, like, I mean,
that would be my gripe with the movie.
Yeah.
I think the whole like rat aspect, I feel like I'm missing a component of it.
Well, that's the whole point. Yeah,
Fuck.
It's like with we say this time and time again, like the rating, take it with a pinch of salt the first time you watch a movie. Someone who's just like that dead set on a rating, it's like, well, if any movie's half decent, you should at least watch it twice before you really...
Or like let it simmer even.
Yeah, let it simmer. And especially when you're dealing with like a crime mystery. Like I watched Zodiac for the first time. When I watched it for the first
2
time.
out of 10.
Yeah, there's so many things that I just like thought were too convenient or that I didn't get. Not until I watched it second, third, fourth, fifth time.
Yeah.
Still noticing things.
Okay, I get it. You've seen the Zodiac 5 times. I got a couple more notes here.
Yeah.
Batman kind of learning about the role he plays in his community or his city, how he goes from this like vigilante vengeance-seeking hero to like...
Well, at the start, the guy was terrified of him, right?
Yeah,
that
exactly.
He saved, yeah.
And now he's like this like helpful, and he kind of... Well, I didn't realize that.
I only just made that
That's
connection.
good. That's good.
And at the end, the guy's like clinging to him because he like feels safe when
Exactly.
he's with him.
And when they take the mask off the guy, he's like, I'm vengeance.
Yeah.
I'm just like you,
Well, yeah,
right?
he realized that being vengeance isn't right.
Exactly.
There's very little difference between those two almost.
I like how Catwoman kept calling him vengeance because she's not going to call him Batman. Like,
yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. Let's go into like the more sort of comic booky tease things here. So obviously we talked about Arkham.
Yeah.
We get quite a lot of references of Arkham, the Arkham family. I didn't know that was even a thing.
Martha's family was...
Well, it was like the two
Arkhams.
most... Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I didn't know that.
They just said the two most biggest families.
Yeah, so it was the Waynes, Bruce
Martha.
Wayne, and Martha Arkham. Which I didn't know was a
sure?
thing. Yeah.
Okay. Because I remember just saying...
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, okay. So that's...
That's a thing.
You're tied. The one kind of downside of Batman is like when you do reboot it over and over again, there's certain things you can't really run away from. And I do like roll my eyes slightly when it's like, oh, Thomas Wayne, Martha Wayne, like Wayne. It's like we don't really care that much.
They brought Gotham.
Yeah, you hear like a lot of repetition with these topics.
Yeah.
So they tried to put a new spin on it with this whole Arkham thing. And I think that I've maybe started to piece something together here. Because at the end, let's just cut to the chase. We get
a studio shoehorned in ending.
You got to do this, Matt.
He's like, no, I'm not. Yeah. But I'm casting
Matt.
Matt Reeves. Yeah, I didn't care for this. Well, I'm being honest.
I mean, I wouldn't say I didn't care for it. I thought I was getting butterflies. It was really cool.
I thought it was gonna be it would have been cool if it was Joaquin.
It's not gonna be Joaquin.
It should have been Joaquin.
So we get the long rumored what's his name? Tell me his name.
Who is it? I actually don't know.
It's the Irish guy.
Oh, is it Barry Coogan?
Yeah, Barry Coogan. So they shot a fake scene because I was just looking this up. The paparazzi were around all the time. So they shot fake scenes with him as like a GPD officer. And that was what the magazines leaked. It was like, oh, like Barry Coogan is in this movie. Who is he playing? They were all like, fan theorizing. Yeah. And it was just to take people off the scent that he was actually playing the Joker.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
So it didn't seem like him at all.
No,
like in the
you
shot.
can barely see. And I didn't like the laugh.
No, the laugh was bad. Let's get that out there. I won't lie about that.
Okay, the laugh was bad.
I like the riddle thing and the connection and how they both started laughing together. That's a great tease, but that felt like an Arrowverse Joker.
Yes. A CW Joker. Ha ha ha.
CW Joker. Yeah, so that needs work for sure. Because if he's okay, here's my big clever thing I've figured out. I think he is the son of Martha Arkham because we see that she was going insane.
Okay, yeah.
And now he's stuck in Arkham jail.
Yeah.
So I think this iteration is going to be, they've done this in the comics before where Batman and Joker are like half brothers.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think that's where we're going.
I mean, if they think if Barry Coogan auditioned and they think he can do it.
It was, I'll get.
Because he's a very like, monotone.
It's a ballsy casting
I haven't
choice.
seen him show any emotion.
Yeah.
And I've seen him in 2 movies
What's
in
the
the
other
past.
one? What have we seen him in?
We saw him
Obviously,
in the
Eternals.
Green Knight and Eternals.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what I've seen of him, he hasn't really impressed me that much, but we all thought that with Heath Ledger as well. Like, I didn't like that.
Yeah, but now I'm seeing him as the Joker.
Yeah, well, we've barely seen him.
Shitty laugh.
It was a bad laugh. The laugh needs work.
Do you think that was a Warner Brothers, not casting, but do you think they made Matt Reeves put that scene in there?
I don't think so. I think Matt Reeves knows when he comes into this world and he's doing a trilogy, like, you can't just have completely independent things. You have to.
Is it a confirmed trilogy?
So yeah, there's plans for a trilogy.
Okay, I'm down.
Yeah.
Did you notice when Batman was got hit by the shotgun, he had to get up and save Catwoman? Do you see what he injected himself with?
Yeah, Venom.
Yeah, well, Bane serum, huh?
Which is the same. You looked that up.
No. I saw it on screen, and I was like, that looks like fucking Bane juice.
Yeah, so yeah, that's Venom. So that's a nice little tie-in as well.
Dope. That's fucking dope.
That was really cool.
No batarangs in this Batman.
Well, there's the one at the end. He pulls it right off of his chest and cuts the thing. I thought he was killing himself.
I thought he was killing himself.
I was like, oh my god. But he was just saving them because it was dangerous with all the electricity. So he cut the power and used his flare. That whole flare thing was so cool.
Yeah. It's a bit pretentious.
That was a couple shots.
Pretentious. This movie's a bit pretentious. The audience is supposed to believe that Batman is just this mythical, realistic hero who saves the people.
He did.
I know, but I think maybe that's what I'm getting pulled out of it.
Some of the bird's eye shot, him waiting for a good 15 seconds.
Yeah, I bet you there's a lot of religious allegory too.
Yeah. It was a bit Moses-y.
Yeah, it's a bit Moses-y.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's kind of the whole thing with the DC characters is they're supposed to be kind of godlike. So that's fine. You hate this movie. Moments where the Batman was struggling with pain was fantastic. I loved his scream when he injected himself, the rage just coming out and almost killing that guy. Very cool. I can't wait to see more of this franchise. I think it'll definitely, from what I've heard, it's tracking really well for a huge opening weekend.
Good.
So that's great. I feel like they should just get on with it quickly.
Yeah, a 2 year.
Let's just get this trilogy out.
Spider-Man did it. It's working out great for them.
Exactly. So let's pump this out. I'm a little disappointed that they've just gone for the Joker right away. Maybe save him for the third one. Because how many Jokers are we supposed to keep track of these days?
I know, and it's gonna fall into the every other.
And everyone's
Joker
gonna be complaining about it. And recently we've had Heath Ledger, we've had Jared Leto, we've had
2
Joaquin Phoenix,
Academy Award-winning Jokers,
and now we've got
and you're bringing in Barry fucking Coogan, fucking demon. He looks like a little demon boy.
Yeah, it's that's very CW like, and I would be nervous if I was him.
I would be down to see.
Unless it's a decoy, it could be a decoy.
I thought they were just gonna keep him kind of shadowy. No laugh.
He's kind of like the Thanos, a bit Thanos.
Yeah, exactly. Shadowy, no laugh, and then figure out their casting later on. I am a little bit disappointed.
That's also a little bit hokey. I like to know you've got a plan, right from the get go, but just get someone better.
But very cool.
Yeah, exactly. If you're gonna do it, you need either Joaquin in there, or you needed McConaughey, or you needed Gary Oldman.
Oh, Gary Oldman would be a good Joker.
Christian Bale or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Something that really gets the people going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pete Davidson.
Skeet. I think, I wouldn't mind seeing Bane again. It's kind of hard because
Let's do Bane again.
You don't want to copy Nolan's villains, though.
I think
I want to see a physical foe, though.
There was no one knows if it was a joke or not, but someone apparently asked Matt Reeves at the premiere. They were like, "Oh, which villain are we doing the Joker next?" He's like, "Oh no, it's gonna be Mr. Freeze."
That's a joke.
Yeah,
you can never do a realistic Mr. Freeze. There's not gonna be any superpowers in this universe. I tell you that much.
There could be.
No.
All right. Who else could you do? I think Deathstroke would be cool.
Yeah, you could do Hugo Strange.
Yeah, that's a bit out there as well.
You could do a Scarecrow.
You could do Two-Face. We haven't done Two-Face.
Oh, you could do Two-Face.
Oh, we did Two-Face.
We did Two-Face.
I always think Tommy Lee Jones is the last Two-Face. Aaron Eckhart, pretty forgettable.
Hey.
No! Sorry.
Martinez.
I can't think of any other Batman villains.
Scarecrow.
We've done him recently as well. She's got a
Like
really
fucking Clayface, Poison
Clayface,
Ivy.
Poison Ivy. You can't do that.
That like isn't that like a Yellow Jacket or like Firefly or something?
Oh yeah, the Firefly.
Yeah.
Well done.
I just played Arkham.
Yeah.
Fresh
Isn't there?
off Arkham.
You know goddamn well there is.
I think I could see a good Two-Face, but they
Yeah.
can't introduce Two-Face in the second movie.
Penguin, Scarecrow, Mr. Freeze, the Mad Hatter, Ra's al Ghul, Poison Ivy, Clayface, Man Bat, Calendar Man, Killer Croc, Hugo Strange, Black Mask, Hush. I think Hush would be cool.
There was a Hush tease in this movie.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, so Hush is the reporter that Thomas Wayne had killed.
Okay.
His son is Hush because apparently in like the video montage the Riddler plays, like the word Hush pops up.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't really know much about Hush.
Killer Moth, Firefly, Crazy Quilt, Deathstroke. Yeah.
I could see Poison Ivy as like a
botanist.
botany scientist kind of doing some weird shit.
Who's your number one choice for her?
You go back to Uma Thurman. No, I could see there's a lot of like
What's that chick who was in Bloodline and she played Velma?
Linda Cardellini. Yeah. No, there's a lot of good like young and up and coming female actors right now. So I think there's like
He brings Zendaya
like Jodie Comer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zendaya. How much did Zendaya want to be Catwoman? Eh?
Stuck with Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last couple things here. I was just looking up. I won't pretend I noticed all these. There's a couple little fun teases.
Okay.
So obviously, I think you were in the bathroom for this part. But they say his name is Edward Nashton.
Oh, okay.
Who obviously they couldn't have his name as Edward Nigma. Enigma would just be too silly. But that actually has a history. So they actually retcon that in one of the comics. We were saying like Enigma was actually like a fake name that he created, and that his real birth name was Edward Nashton.
Nashton. Okay.
And then the last one, obviously, we get a Bloodhaven reference at the end when she's like, "Oh, where are you gonna go?" She's like, "Oh, maybe Bloodhaven," and we know that's the home of Nightwing.
Oh, nice.
As well as Arrow.
Oh,
So
nice.
we're gonna get that guy. That's his name, Stephen Armor or something like that.
Stephen Amell.
Yeah, let's get him in.
No, my God. Stephen,
Bat.
Stephen and his brother Robbie, eh? I think they're Canadian.
Maybe we get Wentworth Miller back as who does he play? DC's Legends of Tomorrow. It's like
Oh my gosh.
Dr. Cold or something.
Oh my gosh.
And Tom Purcell.
I would just do this trilogy as its own thing, really. I mean, we already have a Penguin spinoff though, but like,
I think he could bring Sir. I think Robin is like a pretty safe bet. We still haven't seen really him on the big screen done well.
yeah.
So let's go with Robin. Get Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, Taron Egerton.
Stop trying to get Terry. He's waiting for Wolverine, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So overall, okay. After all this talking, I'm gonna go down slightly to an 8.5.
Okay,
I think
fair enough.
there's enough gripes throughout the movie and plot inconsistencies that, yeah, it's not like an absolute masterpiece, but thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think.
How does it compare to the Dark Knight for you?
I mean, I think it's a better movie than The Dark Knight Rises. I think that's pretty fair to say.
I think anyone would admit that.
Yeah,
but The Dark Knight.
It's so hard. You can't just like see this movie one time, and I've seen that movie like 15 times. It's such an iconic part of movie history that it would just be impossible to say that.
That's fair, yeah. I would say from a technical standpoint, this movie...
Yeah, the action's way better.
A lot of good
And it's also
points.
shot better.
It is shot better,
We can admit
I can say that.
And I think, the Batman looks... I think the portrayal of Batman is better, which is a huge win.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
But I think that it's just that Joker trump card that movie just has one of the best performances ever put to film. So it's like it has that one key element that's better than anything the Batman has to offer. But as like a Batman story, this is probably like a more true to comic.
You really like the noir crime detective thriller.
It's felt like a really good graphic novel that was like animated and you know, like you get those amazing Batman animated movies.
Yeah,
like Kevin
Conroy.
Yeah.
And Mark Hamill.
Commissioner. So it was Batman brought to life, and I really loved it.
Yeah, and I think any fan of Batman will really love this movie.
Yeah.
And I think any fan of film really will enjoy this
there's
movie.
lots to enjoy in this movie.
For sure. For sure.
All right, well, I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Me as well.
I guess we'll see you probably We got Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness coming.
It's coming up in May. We'll
We'll try to maybe squeeze one more in.
Yeah,
before
one or
then.
2 more episodes for you guys.
We'll do one more before then.
We appreciate everyone for listening.
Yeah, thank you so much, as always. Hope you enjoyed the Batman. I've been on. I've been Anthony.
Thanks for listening.
All right, that's enough. Cut it.